Hello, everyone. Thanks for joining. It's awesome you guys are here. Super happy to we get a chance to talk a little bit more about Sterling. The good news too is, again, my name is Joe Kryzak, President and CEO of Sterling Professional. Good news is that everyone who is joining gets a free product from Sterling. So we will get you information at the end of the call on how to do that. And hey, the best way to get your recommendation to talk to customers, to talk to patients on our products is you got to try it, right? That's why I love working with chiropractors. They're like a great, they will be the guinea pig. They will 100% try it, use it, make sure it works before they sell anything. So excited to talk to you about this product and this our see format slide. Where does view slideshow?
Can you hear us okay?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Yeah.
Thanks for joining.
Well, we were just saying, there's been probably about over half of us that have already tried the sleeping one,
Oh, awesome. Which one did you try?
the gummies.
That's
Oh,
Yep.
okay. And what did you think of it?
I really like it.
Yeah.
Nothing's ever worked for me before, so.
Yeah.
Amazing.
And I don't feel groggy in the morning.
Great. And how much do you take?
Well, I've been taking one whole one, but it's supposed to be, I think, a half of one.
And 100%. Thank you for saying that. The recommendation is to start off with a half. It's funny. People's tolerances to THC vary totally wide. Like I can take one, but I've met 100-pound, smaller people that take two. I've met people my size that take a half of one. So people's tolerances to THC vary widely. So definitely start with one, see how, or half of one, see how it works, and then you can go from there. But yeah, it's great that it's working, and it's great that it's making a difference for you. So you said you tried a bunch of other things, and they weren't working.
Yeah,
Lots.
I mean, a lot of times I've taken melatonin, but that makes me super groggy then the next day. And I just don't like how it makes me feel. And I've tried, like different
process,
yeah.
systemic formulas,
Yep.
a lot of other stuff.
Okay.
So far so good.
Awesome. And Dr. McGrew, you said that you can't hear anything. It's got to be your, down here in settings. You just want to make sure that your speaker is clicked correctly. It's either your headphone or there's other choices here. So let me know in the next minute or two if you can find out how to get back on there. So awesome. I'm going to kick it off. All right, so I'm going to start off with the question. Does the United States government have a CBD patent? Let's get some thumbs up or thumbs down, yes or no. Does the United States government, the same government that has made CBD illegal until 2018, have a patent on CBD? That sounds crazy, right?
Right.
Well, in fact, there is. The U.S. Patent offered a patent to the Department of Health and Human Services. The patent is 6630507. It was initially filed in 1999 and awarded in 2003. Now it's 20 years ago. Not only is it crazy that there is a patent on it, but there's two even crazier things that I want to discuss. Number one, the gentleman who applied for the patent is a Nobel Prize winner. And he's got a great name too, Julius Axelrod. Oh my God, what a fantastic name. He applied for the patent. What's crazier is that he also patented Prozac. So this isn't some knucklehead, right? This is a guy, he worked for UCL. He is a professor at UCLA at the time. He obviously knows through the development of Prozac and with CBD, knows about the way the brain works, through synapse gaps, transmitters, neuron functions. Really, really smart guy. You can do some research on him, but man, this guy is solid. And what does Julius Axelrod say in the patent? This is a snippet
Excuse me?
from the patent. Yep.
Are you sharing your screen? Sorry.
Am I not sharing? That's kind of silly. What am I doing? Giving a presentation and not sharing my screen? Thank you. So Department of Health and Human Services, patent 663, Bill Laureate Julius Axelrod. So this is what the patent says. You can do research on itself. So cannabinoids are found to have antioxidant properties useful in the treatment of oxidative associated diseases such as AIDS-related, inflammatory, and autoimmune diseases. They act as neuroprotectants, right? They protect your brain. Or in the treatment of neurodegenerative diseases such as Alzheimer's disease, Parkinson's disease, and HIV dementia. Holy smoke, right? These are big, big problems that Americans are facing right now, that there are no approved drugs to help out, right? So how can the United States government say that CBD helps with these products through the Department of Health and Human Services and say that CBD is so amazing that that it does it? Again, I'm not making a claim here. I'm just reading to you a patent which is available to the public. But these are huge claims that this patent is saying, and it's what's amazing is that it was made in 2000 or 2003. It was awarded when CBD was and any hemp product was in the same category as the worst of the worst drugs, right? It was in the same, I think it's like Schedule 1 drug, the same class as heroin, same class as crack, the same class as like meth, right? So it's just really counterintuitive that there's a patent on CBD and saying all these great things, but it still was scheduled as a class 1 drug. Until you think about it a little bit, right? So why has Prozac been a multi-billion-dollar drug for the last, 30 years, and CBD been illegal since 2018? Well, you just got to follow the money trail, right? Yeah. They can patent Prozac. They can patent the process of Prozac. They can make a bunch of money on Prozac. CBD is a lot harder, right? You can't patent CBD. You can't patent a natural plant, and so they're saying that they're patenting against the claims of this, but also at the same time making it so it's totally legal. So crazy stuff. Every time I give this presentation, I'm blown away. Holy smoke. There's a patent on there's a patent against on CBD that the US government has, but still considered illegal. So a couple things to look for in a CBD company. This is Sterling Professional in particular. Most important thing is trust, right? So I like saying that the most important things that chiropractor sell is trust, right? Trust that when somebody's coming in the door and paying to get treatment, they're going to come out feeling better. right? Trust when the doctor has their neck in their hand doing and cracking it, right? They're not going to do a 360 on the neck. And trust that any product that you guys are selling is a representation of your business. So we need to make sure that there's strong trust, and everything that Sterling does is designed to build that trust in the business. So super clean. All our products are federally legal. We can ship across state lines. We can ship in any state. Everything is federally legal.
Right.
Number two, super important, and if you want to bring out your phone, you can do this right now, but on each of our products, we have a QR code. And if I take my phone and go to this QR code, it takes us to our third-party certificate of analysis. And I can choose, any product that we currently have. For instance, just click one of our tinctures, but it has all of our third-party testing here by accredited third-party testers that not only talks about the amount of CBD or THC or any other cannabinoids that are in the product, but we also test for mycotoxins, heavy metals, pesticides, and fungus. And then each product has a safety data sheet associated with it too. So you know exactly what you're getting. Customers know exactly what they're getting. This is one of the extra steps, since we only sell Sterling Professional to chiropractors. This is one of the extra steps that we're using to build trust and work with. And it's an honor to be in everyone's location. And we will make sure we continue to drive that trust. Again, we're only sold in chiropractic offices. Super profitable. The doctors that are on this call are new doctors and doctors that have done like fantastic numbers. I think the average office sells about 5,000 a year. Some a lot more. Everyone who's on this call is definitely is doing well more than $5,000 a year, or on track to do more than $5,000 a year. So that's great news. And kind of interesting is that the United States Anti-Doping Agency, the agency that determines what U.S. Olympic athletes can use, has approved super pure CBD for its athletes. Right? They found out that it helps prevent over-the-counter medicine or over-the-counter products, reduce their use of aspirin, Tylenol, and over other prescription medicines, help them recover better. So that's kind of cool that the USADA has approved CBD for that. We're proud sponsors of a lot of chiropractic associations. Two things that I want to highlight here is Chiro Heroes. Chiro Heroes is an organization that I'm on the board of directors for. It's an association that is near and dear to my heart that fights against human trafficking and sex slavery in the United States, two of the fastest growing industries in the United States. But super cool. We've raised hundreds of thousands of dollars for to fight against those. And my 6th article in Chiro Economics just came out earlier this week. We're regular contributors to the Chiro Economics. We're consider ourselves not only leaders in our product development, but we're also want to be thought leaders in the space, right? We want to demystify what this product is, what this product isn't. And one way that we do that is by writing well-researched and referenced articles in some major publications. So great. So who am I? I ran billion-dollar businesses for some big companies. CEO founder of Sterling Professional. Also a cancer survivor. I just got my 2-year cancer-free 2 weeks ago. So that was pretty awesome. Continuing to fight. And Chiro Economics. These are my 2022 articles that have been published, and I can send for anyone that's interested. I'd be glad to send out articles if you're bored. So want to be super clear on the differences between cannabis, marijuana, and hemp. And I think this is a pretty good graphic that explains it. So across the top, we got different species, right? Canine, cannabis is a species, Brassica oleifera is a species. And humans are pretty smart. Well, let me rephrase that. There are some smart humans. And through selectively breeding, they have made a great example is a Labrador and a Chihuahua. They're like literally the same species. They have the same DNA. They are the same species. They can mate and have what would probably be a really ugly dog. But people have bred Labradors for hunting, fishing, and companionship. Chihuahuas for ceremonies, food source, and probably most recently for annoying celebrities to carry around. Sorry if you got a Chihuahua. Same with Brassica oleifera, like cabbage, broccoli, kale, cauliflower, literally the same species, right? And this is just an extreme example of what humans can do through selective breeding, right? They take one Brassica oleifera that has big leaves and made it with another big leaf, and it gets another one that has a bigger leaf, right? Just like horse breeding, right? Big money to be made in that if you're a selective breeder. Similarly, hemp and marijuana are literally the same species, right? It's the same plant, same DNA. But you wouldn't be able to tell that by looking at the plants. Like hemp is a big, huge, massive bush, 16 feet wide, 16 feet tall. Interestingly enough, it was the very first agricultural product that humans ever planted, right? About 8,000 BC. The very first thing that people planted was hemp because they use it for food, they use it for rope, they use it for tents, they use it for clothing, they use it for shoes, all kinds of great stuff you can make out of hemp. And hemp is what was made legal in the 2018 Farm Bill. All of our products are made from industrial hemp, and they all need to have, the plants need to have less than 0.3% THC by weight. So any plant, any product, any lotion, all needs to be less than 0.3% THC by weight. And that's what makes it federally legal. And that's what our testing shows, is that all of our products have less than that 0.3% THC by weight. Marijuana looks like a different plant, right? Marijuana, as opposed to hemp, which is grown for the stalks and the stems and the leaves, big old bush. Marijuana is a much smaller plant, right? It grows to 6 feet. And if you've seen a healthy, good quality marijuana plant, the branches are kind of hanging down a little bit because the buds are so big, right? These are meant to maximize the flowers on the plant. And so marijuana is not federally legal. Some states obviously allow it, but it's not what we're selling. But I just want to make sure that people get the that definition correct. A lot of times you hear people say, "Hey, I'm going to go grab some cannabis." Well, that's not officially or biologically correct because cannabis can mean hemp or marijuana. But both of them are in the exact same family. Here's my pitch, right? I believe this 100%. Cannabinoids are the most important compound ever for chiropractors. The most important thing that chiropractors, in terms of supplements, that we have. And why do I say that? Through research, right? Harvard Medical School says cannabinoids can help with anxiety, insomnia, chronic pain, arthritis, addiction. These are all big problems that you see patients helping out every day, right? You see people, what I've learned with chiropractors is you're not only helping out people, making them feel better, helping them get the better nutrition, but, chiropractors and the team are psychiatrists too, right? people will say, hey, I'm having a bad day. Hey, this is occurring. Hey, I'm just fighting a lot of anxiety or insomnia. So, and I'll show how these products help and affect those. It's probably the most studied compound in the world right now. And it's being studied by, huge universities and research firms, University of Texas, Mayo Clinic, Cleveland Clinic, Harvard, obviously. And all kind of research talks about the endocannabinoids, which I'll talk about in a minute. A lot of preclinical and clinical studies are being done. And number three, the FDA hates it. They hate it because they can't control it. They hate it because they can't make money off of it, right? The medical industrial complex in the United States is totally out of hand. And they have not approved a marketing application for the treatment of any disease or condition except for synthetic cannabinoids formulated by Big Pharma. So basically what they're saying is, don't take the natural product, don't take the real product that's going to help you out. But if there's a pharmaceutical company that will pay millions of dollars for research, get it approved by FDA, make a synthetic cannabinoid, well, that will work, right? So FDA is a mess right now. They can't control it. It's doing some really cool things, and it just kind of shows another reason why it's so important for chiropractors. So I want to talk a little bit about the different types of cannabinoids. So in each of the hemp plants, there's about 115 cannabinoids, and they're really bucketized into two different classifications. One, CBD, which is non-psychoactive. CBD is the most famous one of it, but there's also some really cool compounds that they're researching too, right? One is CBN. I remember CBN because N stands for nighttime. The gummies, the Delta 8 gummies that you guys are taking has CBN in it. It's one of the rare cannabinoids, and it's shown to have great sedative properties, even better than THC, and also has pain relieving. CBG is a great neuroprotectant. CBG, CBDA, I can go down the list, 115 of them. But some really good compounds, and Sterling continues to do research in all of these different compounds and are creating formulas that tie into it. Well, on the other hand, on the left side here is CBD is psychoactive. And really there's two main types of THC. One is called Delta 9 THC. And this is really the OG THC. Before 3 years ago, when anyone said THC, they meant Delta 9. But what some people smarter than me did was came out with other types of THC by just moving one of the carbon chains from the ninth bond to the eighth bond, thus creating a new type of THC. It is more relaxing. It's a great product. It's, I think, better for the evening. It's better for relaxation than Delta 9. But those are the two different forms of THC. And of course, we offer both low-dose THC products and non-THC products. So those are our areas. And really, it's kind of funny, like all the hype right now that's in the medical marijuana field, all states that have dispensaries, they're really trying to maximize the amount of THC in it. And by maximizing the amount of THC, they minimize the amount of the CBD in there that has all these great benefits for the body. So, they call it medical marijuana, but it ain't medical. It's designed to get you high, right? And it's not the healthy solution. It's not the stuff that we're going after, right? It's really the stuff, the products that we're going after have a great solution of the CBD and low dose THC, which creates the perfect combination entourage effect that helps people get where they need to be. So now you know what cannabis is, but what are cannabinoids? Again, there's 115 naturally occurring compounds in the plant. They're found in the trichomes, and Snoop Dogg calls them the sticky icky, right? So you want to get this sticky icky off the plant, right? Which is pretty hard to do, right? This stuff is, they call it sticky icky for a reason, right? It's sticky, and it's on a piece of organic material. So though the oil there is what you want to get out. Interestingly enough, the research has found that cannabinoids are in many plants, including clove, black pepper, echinacea, broccoli. So there is other cannabinoids in other plants, but really cannabinoids are to cannabis what vitamin C is to orange, right? It really maxes out the cannabinoids in the body, and it's by far has the most cannabinoids of any plant. So, so we talked about the challenge of getting the sticky icky off the flower, and there's a couple ways to do that. One, sounds like a really bad idea, is ethanol, right? Heavy alcohol. They really just take a big vat, throw a bunch of ethanol in there. It kind of melts the trichomes off. Then they take a centrifuge, like a washing machine, and then process it. The big problem here is, number one, you're using ethanol. And number two, once you extract the trichomes off of the bud, right, then you need to extract the ethanol out of the final solution, right? So very ineffective. It doesn't alleviate a lot of the natural compounds that are on the plant. Second is CO2. CO2 is obviously better than ethanol, but there's a couple big problems with CO2. Number one is CO2 just obviously isn't great for the environment. We've got enough of it already. And number two, it's a very expensive process, right? So in order to get through the CO2 process, you have to spend a lot of money on the extraction process. You have to buy, big 500-gallon buckets of the CO2. And what they do is they take the CO2, and make it supercritical carbon dioxide, and then process the trichomes out. A lot of problems with CO2, cleaner than ethanol. But what the best solution is that Sterling has, and to this date, I don't think anyone else has it, is we use air and water, literally air and water. And so what we do with Sterling's process is we put the biomass in a huge vat of distilled ice water. So that distilled ice water is, 33 degrees, and that actually freezes the little trichomes, makes the sticky kind of like a crystal. It crystallizes it, and then we put it through a process, and it goes through and passes through an impeller, and the impeller turns at 20,000 RPM like a little fan, which creates cavitation bubbles. Right, so it's like take little mini bubbles, and those bubbles hit and shatter and shatter the trichomes off of the plant. So it's almost like we're sandblasting it, right? A really natural way of sandblasting. And then we put it through a 40 micron filter, and then we've got no industrial waste. We're just using air and water. So the big advantage of a couple of big advantages of this is, number one, it's the cheapest process, right? We don't have to buy CO2. We just need some water, right? Number two is it doesn't decarbonize the trichomes, right? It doesn't decarbonize the cannabinoids. It keeps all the healthy compounds in there and keeps it super, super pure. And then finally, what it does too is it creates a really, really nice profile. Right, it creates it doesn't break down any of the CBGA, CBDA, and gives a really nice full spectrum of cannabinoids in the product. So pretty cool. Air and water. We solved the problem. So now you know what cannabinoids are, how to extract them. So how do they help the body? Well, according to Harvard Medical School, your endocannabinoid system is the most important system in your body to create homeostasis. So what does that mean? What it means is your body is always trying to find homeostasis, right? It's always trying to find a natural balance. And a great example of how cannabinoids help is through epilepsy, right? There is an FDA-approved drug for epilepsy. It's basically synthetic CBD, right? And so what happens when you have epilepsy? Your brain is just firing too fast, and it won't shut down. Well, the endocannabinoid system is the system that tells your body to stop, right? Tells your nerves, or in this case, your neurotransmitters, to stop sending signals. I have enough information. Another great example is acid stomach, right? What happens when you are nauseous, right? You got too much acid in your stomach. So through the endocannabinoid system, and the endocannabinoid system is the only system in your body where organs can talk specifically to other organs. It helps it says, stop, I have enough acid, stop making me more, we're good. So it's a really cool process. So endocannabinoid system, interestingly enough, is the only system in your body named after a plant. It was discovered in 1992. What's nuts is they were, it was almost by accident, right? They were a university, the American University in Jerusalem was researching cannabis, and they discovered your body has compounds in your body that are so similar to the cannabis plant that they named a system, your endocannabinoid system, out after the cannabis plant. So it's a really natural occurring stuff. And one of the problems people are having today, and since the really the 1930s, 40s, when cannabis and hemp was stripped out of human consumption, your body just doesn't have enough of it, right? Your body needs it. It's almost like a sailor going out on the sea without vitamin C, right? They get scurvy. People's bodies and people's diets today, they don't have enough endocannabinoids. And science is showing that the reintroduction of CBD and all the other cannabinoids is making a big impact on people's health. So this is a study from National Institute of Health. They're looking at the top reasons people use CBD, and I bucketized it into the top 3 reasons. Number 1 is chronic pain and arthritis. I bucketed into physical pain, anxiety and depression, obviously mental concerns, and then there's sleep issues. And we'll jump into each of those as we go through the slide deck. Secondly, the same study, right, from National Library of Medicine, does CBD work? 95.7% said respondents say that it works well or very well. What's interesting is this question here, right? So the question is, does it work well in combination with conventional medicine? I think if they would have asked the question, does it work well in combination with chiropractic care, I think that number would skyrocket, because doctors, medical doctors don't know how to use it. They'd rather be pushing pills. They don't have that intimate connection with their patients like DCs have. And so having that would be interesting if they looked at that study, because I really believe that the chiropractic space is the perfect spot for this, as chiropractors, you're the leaders of the health industry, right? You're helping change the dynamics of the health in America. You're looking at creating and solving the problems, not the symptoms, and you'll see that that it helps out in a number of ways. So again, bucketizing the top 3 reasons. Number 1 is physical pain and discomfort. National Institute of Health says it has great potential for the relief of arthritic pain-related behavior, and it's got a great anti-inflammatory effect. Open access says can lower inflammation and pain by interaction with the ECS. And arthritis, even arthritis.org, the CB work for arthritis. They say, yes, animal studies says it has great pain relief, but give us some more money and we could do some research with the University of Michigan and Arthritic Society of Canada. Give me some more money and we can do some more research, although obviously the research has been done. So doctors just looking for some more money. So what's not a great solution for pain? Opioids. Opioids is not a great solution for pain. There is a disaster going on with opioid addiction, right? So there's a couple million people in the United States suffering from addiction to heroin, opioids, fentanyl. It's a train wreck right now. There's a lot of big side effects to using opioids, including addiction, depression, anxiety. So opioids is not the solution. Doctors are handing it out like it's free, trying to, again, help solve. Our medical doctors are trying to solve the symptoms, not the underlying root. What I loved about this study is they have behavioral symptoms of an opioid addict. If someone is stealing narcotics from friends and family, yes, you are an addict. If you are robbing pharmacies and other medication dispensaries, yes, you're probably an addict. So thank you, Mayo Clinic, for helping us define if somebody's on opioids or not by if they're stealing. Right? It's pretty funny. The second biggest reason that people use CBD is for mental concerns. Again, information from the Mayo Clinic. So this is kind of a crazy chart here. Let me explain it to you real quick. They're bucketized into three charts. If people have symptoms of anxiety or depression, or anxiety and depression together. So 2019, this is the baseline right here, right? This little line right here. So in 2019, 10.8% of Americans had symptoms of anxiety or depression. What happened in 2020, right? Early 2020, right? The pandemic. Look how symptoms of anxiety and depression disorder spiked 3.5 times, right? They talk a lot about the physical ramifications of COVID, but not enough people are talking about the mental concerns, right? I just got a call from a doctor the other day, 12-year-old, anxiety and depressive disorder. People locked up, kids not going to school, the stress put on people not going to work. It just created a mental nightmare for Americans. There's a lot of people suffering from anxiety and depression, and medical research says that from the Mayo Clinic says that CBD with low doses of THC definitely help with helping people fight those symptoms of anxiety and depressive disorder. And the last one, talk about sleeplessness. Sleep is so important, right? If you look at the hierarchy of needs of humans, it's like number one, I think we agree that breathing is probably the most important thing that we can do for yourself, right? Number two is hydration, right? You got to keep super hydrated. Number three might be sleep, right? It might be more important than good nutrition. And I say that for two reasons. Number one is I can go 45 days without food, but I will literally die after 11 days with no sleep. Like your body actually dies. That's how important sleep is. and 60% of Americans aren't getting good sleep. Sleep is so important that when you go to the doctor, say maybe you got COVID, 35, if you have poor sleep patterns prior to COVID, you're 35% more likely to be hospitalized and die because you have poor health from lack of sleep. And also, science doesn't quite understand it, but COVID-19 in particular attacks your ACE2 receptors in your central nervous system, making sleep after having COVID much, much more difficult. So it's a vicious cycle. Poor sleep gets you sicker. When you're sicker, you get worse sleep, right? And the solution that medicine has right now is Ambien. Ambien is like as bad as opioids. Every time I give this presentation, someone in the audience says, yeah, I got somebody, and they talk about whether it's driving and get into a car wreck, whether it's like really weird behavior. Ambien is just a nightmare. It's addictive. It does some really bad things to you, lightheadedness. You're really, really drowsy in the morning when you take Ambien. You really don't get good sleep. It just kind of knocks you out. You don't get any good REM sleep. You're not feeling good the next morning. It's just a mess. So what's interesting is since the pandemic, sales of Ambien have tripled. Right, so they're just handing this out. Oh, you're not sleep. Oh, here's some Ambien. It'll help you out. It'll get you some sleep that you need. This is just a nightmare, right? It's like the worst thing that people can be giving. As opposed to giving Ambien, we got some really good sleep solutions. Our Delta 8 sleep gummies, our Delta 9 sleep gummies. We have a THC-free sleep gummies that we'll go into. But Ambien is not the solution. Medical doctors handing this out, they should be just barred. Is it just barred? Oh, that's lawyers. They should be kicked out, right? Because this is not a good solution for people. It's horrible. So let's talk about how our products help sleep. So according to the National Institute of Health, cannabis oil may hold benefit for anxiety-related disorders. Specifically, anxiety scores decrease within the first month in 80 or 79.2% of the patients and remain decreased. 4 out of 5 people who take this product have greatly reduced anxiety-related disorders, right? Why aren't we, if the study says that, National Institute of Health, a government, U.S. government-run agency, says these great things, that it does all these great things, why are they making such a fuss about it, right? And we talked about that earlier. Also, sleep scores improved in the first month, and 66% of the patients, 2 out of 3 patients. They fluctuate a little bit over time, but 100% that this is a much, much better solution for Ambien. Should be the first resort, not the last resort, to help people get some sleep. But DCs are the solution to helping get people off Ambien and opioids. So just got a few minutes left here. I want to talk about our lotions. Number one is our magnesium balm. I think this is just an absolutely fantastic product. This is the primary use for the magnesium balm is for cramps and like joint pain. It has a great effect, right, on it. A lot of times when there's cramping in the body, it's because of an overload of calcium. The magnesium counteracts and it attaches itself to the same receptors as the calcium does, and it makes a big difference for it. It's also great, like I said, great for joints. Muscle gel, got a lot of great ingredients in here. It has 2,500 milligrams of CBD in it, right? Which is like, and all of these do, which is like off the charts in terms of CBD per bottle. What's awesome too is the pricing that you give to your patients is still cheaper than the CVS pharmacy up the street. It's better product. It has way more CBD. It's got a lot of other great ingredients in there. This particular one is kind of like an icy hot, right? It has capsaicin, which is the compound in chili peppers that make it hot. Peppermint, eucalyptus, witch hazel, white willow bark. White willow bark is the stuff that aspirin is made of. We just take the bark, chop it up super fine, and add it to it. And makes a big difference. So really nice solution here. This is for muscles. I would say this one's more for cramps. This one's great for muscles, pre-post workout, getting a massage. This is a great solution here. And then we got a really nice relaxing lavender lotion. Smells great. When I put it on the evening, my wife says I smell pretty, and I don't get called pretty a lot, so I want to make sure to put it on before the evening. Super relaxing. Again, using white willow bark, 2,500 milligrams of CBD, vitamin E, coconut oil, really good solutions for our lotions. We got a couple great sleep solutions, Delta 8 gummy, and we also have a Delta 9 gummy. Delta 8 gummy is I'm highlighting here. Again, it's got the CBN in it. The CBN is a great addition that we made for the product. And kind of one of the cool things, advantages that I have over many other CBD companies is because I work just with chiropractors. I'm talking to chiropractors all day. Chiropractors are always, helpful in helping me create better solutions. A great example of that is, I got a note from a doctor probably a year ago now. He said, "Joe, love your product. Why are you using cane sugar and corn syrup?" I said, "Give me, I don't know, what should I be using?" He says, "You should be using beet sugar and tapioca syrup. Like they're both much more bioavailable. There are a lot less calories, much better for the body. So logical, it costs a lot more, but totally worth it to make a pure organic solution for people that works out." We also have a THC-free sleep capsules. There are many people out there that are worried about getting tested, drug tested, and so this is a THC-free sleep capsule, 0.0% THC in it, but also some great products in here too. Again, speaking with doctors, is melatonin, Maypop, valerian root, piperin to help with absorption. Some really nice solutions in there that are unique to us, right? No one else has these solutions, and super happy to be working with doctors because they help out with our formulas. And then this says sleep solutions, but these are really our tinctures, right? So we got two types of tinctures: our broad spectrum tincture. Broad spectrum means that it has all the 115 cannabinoids in it except for THC. So we just take the THC out. Again, there are some people who are concerned about having THC. This is a great solution. This gives you, I got some right here. Take that one every day. Love it. It helps, helps maintain the focus. It's not non-drowsy at all. Keeps you focused, gives you a little burst of energy. Really good solution. And then this one does have, it's full spectrum, so it does have the 0.3% THC in it, but it really great solution. Again, the solventless extracted water soluble CBD in there, using safflower oil, and then we don't want, people are going to take it, right? We want it to taste good. So we add a little bit of essential oils in there. We add some either peppermint or citrus in this particular case, but it actually tastes pretty good, right? It doesn't taste like other hemp companies where it feels like you taste like you're eating dirt or eating grass, right? It's a really good solution that helps out with people. So those are kind of our highlights of our product assortment that the majority of you guys are carrying. We do have some other great products that I can highlight that are on our sheet. You know, one of them I want to mention is our energy gummy. These are doing really well for us. So we got an energy gummy. It's made with 50 milligrams of caffeine from green coffee beans, so super pure, super smooth. It has L-theanine in it, so it kind of you can take them in the afternoon. You're not getting jitters, and some other great stuff in here like CoQ10, vitamin B12. That gives you a nice pickup in the afternoon. What's great about this, our energy gummies is a great example is my wife. She can have like 4 cups of coffee in the morning, but if she takes any coffee after like 1 o'clock, it gives her the jitters and she can't fall asleep. This gives you a nice natural uplift of energy that you feel good. It's not a Red Bull, right? It's not a bunch of sugar and caffeine, but it gives you a totally different kind of cool organic energy that helps out with the afternoon. The serving size on these is 2, so we put 60 in a jar in these particular ones. To get all the great ingredients in there, we had to make a solution with 2 gummies, but really nice product that is doing exceptionally well in Cairo offices. So that is my presentation. We got a few minutes here. What questions do you guys have? But I just don't mess around with it, right? If they're getting drug tested, it's their job, it's their livelihood. Just say, hey, I'd recommend broad spectrum or a THC product for you because there's no chance that they're going to be picked up on a drug test. So those are kind of the big differences. All right, so we got a question. Repeat the differences between Delta 8 and Delta 9. Okay, so back to this slide. Delta 8 is more relaxing, right? Delta 9 is a little bit more, it's still relaxing, but not as relaxing as Delta 8. And to go into this slide a little bit deeper, the 2018 Farm Bill that said you need to have less than 0.3% Delta 9 THC by weight, opened up the door a little bit because there was no other THC besides Delta 9. So the federal law says it needs to be less than 0.3% Delta 9 THC by weight. Well, with Delta 8, it didn't say anything about Delta 8 because there was no Delta 8. So that's where somebody smarter than me moved one of the carbon molecules from the 9th chain on the compound to the 8th chain, thus creating a new form of THC and thus, in a way, circumventing the rule that you can have less than 0.3% THC by weight. So if you notice on our Delta 9 sleep gummies, they have 10 milligrams of Delta 9 THC in them, which puts them right below the 0.3% THC by weight. The Delta 8 has 12.5 milligrams of THC in them, which puts them a little bit over the 0.3% THC by weight. So because of the way the law was written, we can put, it's still federally legal to have more Delta 8 THC in a product than the Delta 9. So it's that's the short answer for the Delta 8 and Delta 9. Again, because before 3 years ago, all THC was Delta 9, right? And Delta 8 is a relatively new a new product less than 3 years old that people are finding some really cool benefits from it. So awesome. So what we can do, everyone who's joining today, I will send an email out with a link to the website, and just let us know what we could send you at no charge. It would be great if you just consolidate the orders for the individual offices that you're in, and we can get those shipped out. Tomorrow's Good Friday. We'll get them shipped out on Monday. So again, it's an honor to be in each one of your offices. I'm excited that you guys are doing so well, and thank you for all the hard work that you're doing to help improve the health, nutrition, and lives of Americans. It's near and dear to my heart, and proud to be associated with great doctors like yourselves. So that's it, unless there's any other questions. See if there is. Let's see in the chat. Nope. All right, you guys. Thank you for joining. I appreciate it, and we'll send out a follow-up email. Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you.